Oops. I hope we're going again. I'm going to give you a chance to respond to see if that is working, and then we will see whether we start. Can people see me? Yes. Okay. So I'm sorry about that. It was pretty bad on Wednesday as well, but you were patient. If you were patient enough, you would have got it. But here we are. So let's start again. Preemptember. We are into now, and we're going to be defending against week twos. Today, though, we are finishing August. The reason for that is that we miss a couple of Mondays in August, one because I'm away and another one because it's a bank holiday. So we are just going to have a little bit on Stayman. But remember, September is very much Preemptember for us. We're dealing with defence against week twos, but I want any kind of preemptive hands sent in, and we'll have some fun with them. Okay, so hopefully we're back up and running. What have we got to talk about? We have all sorts of things going on. Of course, we are now a travel operator, so we can sell UK holidays, and particularly a new one, which is we are going to Portugal. So I'm just going to put that up there for you. Let me just scroll through a couple. Okay, so now that is only in October, so it's quite soon. But the reason we are mentioning that is because we did have an event in October. We had to, well, I say we had to, it was cancelled by the tour operator that was running it for us because they had ceased to operate. What we decided to do was try to resurrect it. So we have been in touch with all of those who were booked. We had a full party booked, and we're hoping to get a nice party on it. And you are welcome to join us. Okay, so that is just in the middle of October, going to October. And of course, then we are promoting all of the other events. And at the moment, you've got Tenerife, which is selling very well. That's in March, and we will be launching all of the other holidays in the coming weeks, so please look out for those. We didn't want the office to be too inundated because it's brand new for us, remember. It's brand new, taking bookings and flights and things like that. So bear with us. Everything's going really well so far, but please, as I say, understand that as you start something new, obviously you want to grow into it. So we are very much hoping that we will get better and offer things better, etc., etc. And if you've got any ideas, of course, we're now able to enact upon them. We've always been, excuse me, able to do that with UK events, but now we can do them for foreign events as well. We still, of course, got the cruises, which tend to be on the Balmoral, and of course some of its sister ships, but do look out for all of those. Okay, well, what have I got for you? Well, I've got 5 hands on Stayman of a variety of things, and I thought they were quite interesting. We've got our 5-level decision. We'll finish with the bidding quiz. Let's start with the 5-level decision so you can have a quick look at that. Let's get that up. So some of you will have seen it already. We've chosen to open a spade here. I know some of you might choose a no trump. I have to say, if I love my spades, I bid my spades, and here with a solid suit, one spade is a clear choice for me. And in this kind of auction, as you're going to see, it's quite important as well. So you're vulnerable against not. And the auction goes one spade, two no trumps, four spades from your partner, five diamonds. Okay, now this a very similar auction we had, I think, a couple of years ago in the 5-level decisions, and it's maybe time to actually change what I do as the hangover. But one spade, two no trumps, four spades, five diamonds. Two no trumps was alerted as showing both minors. Both minors. Remember, they're non-vulnerable, you're vulnerable, and it's your choice of bid. So we will revisit that after the little seminar I do. So once again, one spade, two no trumps, four spades, five diamonds. Okay, so what else have we got? Well, I'm going to Denham next week, but it won't affect any of the live shows because Denham's nice and close. So I'm enjoying that. And then Two Bridges, I think, a couple of weeks after that. So I've got two events in, I'll just show you those actually. There's the one at Denham. I don't even know what took it, but a hand evaluation we're doing there, and take out doubles down in the Two Bridges at Dartmoor. Don't forget, as Helen's mentioning there, it's all under new management at Denham, so I think you'll be pleasantly surprised, or I hope you will be. But we've got all sorts of UK events, so do look at them. Leslie's doing a couple at the Parsford House in Lymington, I know, so she's got a couple, one in September and one, I think it might come up here. Oh, there's Ingrid. So you've got a whole range, and there's Fran and Graham. So all sorts of options, and so do just press the wrong button there. However, I want us to have a little look at Stayman. So I'm going to go and do my PowerPoint here. Very quick PowerPoint. Then I'm going to go back to the hands. So our responses generally to no trump, Stayman is going to be two clubs, and the rest hopefully are transfers. Two spades, which are used to show a minor, two no trumps natural, and three level natural and strong, and generally should be a slam try. I got sent in a hand last week where they went slightly wrong with a one no trump three diamond bid. But if you trust each other, if the bidding goes one no trump three diamonds, that is saying, partner, I genuinely think there is a chance for better things. I mean, it can be, I think diamonds might be better than no trumps, but for the most part, we gamble on no trumps with a sort of 11-point hand with 6 diamonds, 7 diamonds. It's only when I've got 15 points and 7 diamonds that I'm wanting to mention them. Can you see what I mean? Because there is a chance of a slam. So basically what I'm saying is, partner, if you've got aces and kings, let's get excited. Stayman is used for 4, transfers for 5 or more. That is standard Stayman, as a number of you will have gauged. We were talking about something called 5-card Stayman. Okay, but remember, that is when you use Stayman with 3 cards. So if you've got 3 cards in a major and a shortage somewhere, then of course playing 5-card Stayman can be valuable. But the important thing is, generally, if you've got a 5-card major or longer, you tend to use transfers. Stayman is generally used for 4 cards in the suit. And of course, the responses: no 4-card major for 2 diamonds. 2 hearts says I've got 4 hearts. 2 spades says I've got 4 spades. However, when you have both majors, you bid 2 hearts. Okay, and then subsequently partner can work out that you've got spades, or you work out that partner must have spades. Okay, this is in standard Stayman, don't forget. There are other variations, and of course I try to show some of those. With 4 spades and 4 hearts, of course you bid 2 hearts. So when do we use it? 0 to 10 points, garbage Stayman. I'm not spending too much time on this because we've covered it. I'm going to go into example hands here, so bear with me if you're thinking, oh my goodness, that's far. Okay, garbage Stayman there. 11 to 12 points when you can invite games. So you bid Stayman. If you find a fit in the major, you invite. If you don't, you go 2 no trumps. So 1 no trump, 2 clubs, 2 hearts, 3 hearts, or 1 no trump, 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, 2 no trumps. Both of them inviting game. Sometimes if you happen to have a singleton and you find a fit, you might just go for game because you feel your hand is a lot better. Okay, 13 plus, you're going for game. So once again, you're either rebidding 3 no trumps or you're rebidding 4 of the Magee. Okay, so that's what we discussed. And of course, when do they come up? Well, we're going to see a few of these in the examples, but we said quite a lot. When your first natural bid is a no trump bid from your side, then generally we're going to use Staymans. So over a 1 no trump opening, over a 1 no trump overcall, assuming it's natural, over 2 no trumps opening, over a 2 no trump rebid. Now that's an important one. 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, 2 no trumps. Still play Stayman and transfers. Really important there to play Stayman and transfers, because of course the opening bidder might be 23 or 24 points. So being able to make sure the strong hand plays is important. If you play a 2 no trump overcall as natural, of course, then you would still play Stayman and transfers. Over a 1 level bid, we don't play it as natural necessarily, but over a week 2, we do. So if it goes a week 2 in hearts, 2 hearts, I overcall 2 no trumps, I expect to be playing Stayman. Very important when you have a long suit against you to find a fit if you've got one. Okay, so that's all I've got there. What we're going to do is come to the Q+, and then I'm going to set us up quickly to be able to deal with some of these hands. So let's go to them. Okay, no, that's not what I'm looking for. I am looking for my own deals, and I'm looking for, bear with me. There we go. So here's the first one. And so these ones came up in Q+ games either sent to me or actually in hands I've used on the site. So what I call the hands of the week. Okay, so here's one example. We're not going to play them, we're just going to look at the bidding on them. So 1 no trump from North, pass, and it's your bid. 1 no trump pass, and it's your bid. You've got a variety of options here. The first thing though I would say is that 1 no trump does not look as though it's going to be a huge success. Now you're undoubled, so it's not always the end of the world. But, you know, imagine your partner had 4 spades. I think you'd certainly want to play in spades. If partner, you've got 5 diamonds there. So I'm very tempted to use what's called garbage Stayman here. To bid 2 clubs and hope that we get to a deal. If partner bids hearts, we've got a 4-3 fit, I should be able to rough a heart. Okay, so for me, it's a classic garbage Stayman. Now remember when you play the strong no trump, so a lot of Americans do not regard garbage Stayman as an option. Not that it matters here, you'd bid 2 clubs and partner would bid 2 diamonds. The reason why it's a problem though, is that if you bid 2 clubs and West comes in, North is going to assume you're strong. But weak no trump, we need garbage Stayman because we get hands like this. And here partner bids 2 diamonds, and of course the key here is we're going to pass. Now partner might just have 2 diamonds, but surely it's reasonable. So I'm not going to play these hands. There you can see partner's hand. And actually, you might think it's easy for the opponents to come in here, but it's not, is it? Because East, if you look at East, if 2 diamonds was a natural bid, East would do a double for takeout and they'd maybe bid on to 3 clubs or something. The problem is East is thinking South's probably going to rebid 3 no trumps or something. Because we haven't, you know, East has got no idea that we're going to pass 2 diamonds. And of course, once we pass 2 diamonds, well, West is thinking, oh, great, I want to play in 2 diamonds. Now, it turns out that we can sort of pick up his diamonds, as it were, and he won't make quite as many as he'd hoped. He might only make 2 diamond tricks. Still, we'll probably go off in 2 diamonds, but I think it's going to be a reasonable contract, whereas playing in 1 no trump looks really horrible indeed. You might get a heart lead, which would help, but after that it gets grotesque, doesn't it? You know, you're likely just to make 4 tricks. Well, you might make the king of diamonds, 5 tricks, so you might go 2 off, but I think in 2 diamonds you've got a really good chance. You're going to lose 3 black suit tricks and maybe 3 diamonds. But I think you could easily make 2 diamonds, and what a victory that would be. So that's your first one. Let's look at the next one. Okay, so this is an interesting one. Let's have a look. 2 no trumps from partner. 2 no trumps from partner, and it's your bid. So the first thing here is you've got 8 points, and that's important. You've also got 3 tens, but I think the most important thing you've got is, I mean, we usually call queens and jacks quacks, but you actually almost have to call this quackens, because you actually have queens, jacks and tens, quackens, and it's so rich in them. The important thing here is to remember that when we have between 28 and 30 points, or 27 and 31, no, 28 and 31, do we want to play in spades if we find a spade fit? So I know all of you are bidding Stayman here, but with queens, jacks and tens, yes, partner could be really weak in hearts, but I think a lot of the time here, partner will have, because it's got to have strength. Remember, if we've got 28 points, I'm worried that these queens and tens are going to be very good in no trumps. And so when we are in the 28 to 30 point range, we often will choose not to bid Stayman. Now here, always would have ended up, but I would bid 3 no trumps to this hand. And I may well be wrong. But I would say most of the time, and let's go, on this particular hand, you'd get to the same contract, whatever you bid. Okay. But I'm thinking to myself that my queens and tens and jacks, look at the clubs and diamonds, for example. Let's say your partner had produced 4 spades. Give him 4 spades and 4 hearts. I think your clubs and diamonds are such that you might find yourself. Now, it turns out here that maybe a doubleton diamond if they get the defence right. But you know, it's going to be a lot of the time you might make the same number of tricks in both. Here it might be a 50-50 shot in clubs. But if you pick up the jack of clubs, for example, you might even make 3 club tricks, 4 spade tricks, a heart, you know. So be a little bit careful when you're in the 28 to 30 point range, particularly if you've got queens, jacks and tens in your hand. You may well find that even if you find a fit in a major, you'll make a similar number of tricks in the major and no trumps. Okay, so bear that in mind. Aces and kings we love for suit contracts. Queens, jacks and tens we prefer the no trumps. Okay. Would you upgrade the hand? It's interesting. North's chosen to open 2 no trumps with a 19 count there. But with 5 hearts, he's got the 9s, we've got the 10s, interestingly. But you know, we can't help what partner in. So as I say, I think I'd have chosen just to bid 3 no trumps there. Okay, that's what that one was about. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. Okay, here we go. I think we can find the pass to start the bidding there. 2 clubs. 2 diamonds from us, 2 no trumps. Okay, we're playing that as 23 to 24. 23 to 24. Okay, and hopefully this is relatively straightforward, but it's important to get it right. This hand clearly, desperately wants to play in a fit. So if partner's got 4 hearts, I definitely want to be bidding Stayman here. Really important. If you play 5 card Stayman, but puppet Stayman is fine, etc, etc. And we'll look at how the auction might play out, or if that was the case. But particularly with the 2 no trumps opposite, you know, 3 to 5 points, that kind of thing, that's when you want to find a fit. With the previous hand, we had 8 points and probably a lot of entries. So there's not such an emphasis on trying to find the fit. But here, it's crucial. 3 clubs is Stayman. Remember, 2 no trumps is the first natural bid, and partner does indeed bid 3 hearts. And it allows us to bid to the game, and what a difference it makes. And here you've got a particularly weak spade suit, and clubs don't look that strong either, do they? You want the strong hand playing it, so you don't want the opponents to know about the ace queen of clubs and the king 5 of spades. Let's just go through how the auction would be if it's puppet. So if you're playing 5 card Stayman, so 2 clubs from North, 2 diamonds, 2 no trumps. 3 clubs would ask for a 5 card major. North would respond at 3 diamonds. I don't have a 5 card major, but I do have something of interest to you. I have a 4 card major. And the crucial bit in the auction is that South would then bid 3 spades. Partner, because South, the weak hand, bids the major they do not hold. Okay, so South bids 3 spades, partner, I've got 4 hearts, and that then allows North to bid the 4 hearts. Okay, so playing 5 card Stayman, it's better to play puppet in these circumstances. Opposite a weak no trump, you know, I mean, if you already play 5 card Stayman, you should probably play all of your 5 card Staymans the same way. And if you find puppet too difficult, just stick with 5 card Stayman. That's fine. Here, South would end up being the player, but of course suddenly a club lead goes straight through the ace queen and makes the contract a lot more difficult. Whereas if it's by North, I don't think they're gonna lead clubs too late, and we should be able to hopefully discard. Well, I don't know. You may not be able to discard if you're greedy in diamonds. Could you? No, I don't think so. You're probably going to lose a club and a spade. Okay, I'm going to go for the next one. I'm going to take you into the west seat, if that's all right on this occasion. Okay, let's see. We pass, as you'd expect. 2 no trumps, some partner. Okay. So once again, interestingly, we're in the 27 to 29 range. So we're still in the range. I mean, a 27 is probably find a major if you can. But if you're 28, 29 again, can I make more in no trumps or a suit? Well, of course, we haven't got the queens and jacks this time. Here we have an ace and a king, in which case I prefer playing in suit contracts. So here I am going to bid Stayman. Again, the quality of the spade suit doesn't matter. For me here, I'm going to bid Stayman, and if we've got a spade fit, I will bid 2 4 spades. So I would bid 3 clubs here. Here partner does bid 3 spades. You're too flat here to really be thinking probably of a slam, I think. Okay, so the difference here is aces and kings. So again, if you had queen, jack, 10 to 4 clubs here, you know, you're then thinking to yourself, oh gosh, can we make the same number of tricks in no trumps as we can in a suit contract? But because you've got the ace of clubs, you're in a better place. Interestingly here, it's a tricky contract. You've got to work hard. If the opponents start by leading hearts, then it's a struggle. However, South is going to be on lead, so you should be okay. The only reason it's a struggle is because South's got 2 trump tricks, hasn't he? Okay, so if they led a heart at the start, there may be a few problems for you, but here, as long as you can discard your heart loser on the 4th round of diamonds, you should be fine, losing just 1 club and 2 spades. Okay, doesn't it? Okay, so remember, aces and kings for your suit contracts, and queens and jacks, we're thinking no trumps. Let's try one more. I'm just going to go back to being South again, if that's all right. And our last one is here. Okay, so now this is interesting. Let's see what we think here. We're going to pass. No trump from partner. Okay, what do you think? That's interesting, isn't it? 3 10s and a 9. 3 10s and a 9. 2 aces as well, which is better than, you know, for me, this looks like a reasonable hand. I think calling it 11 is reasonable. And therefore, I think bidding 2 no trumps is reasonable. And therefore, I feel I can bid Stayman first and rebid 2 no trumps if I don't have a fit. Does that make sense? Okay, so I am going to upgrade this, and I'm going to bid Stayman. won't always work, but with ace 10, 10-9 of clubs and queen 10 of spades, one of those 10s is likely to be worth something. So I would bid Stayman here. Okay, partner bids 2 hearts. What are you bidding now? Okay, so this one's a slightly subtle one, but in this particular auction, you can bid 2 spades on your way to 2 no trumps. So don't forget, if you've got one of those weak hands with 5 spades and 4 hearts, well then clearly you will pass 2 hearts here. So if I bid 2 spades, I'm not showing a weak hand, because if I only had spades, I would have transferred to spades, wouldn't I? So the idea here is I can bid 2 spades as my invitational raise to game. So 2 spades is saying, look, partner, I'm balanced, okay? And most of the time, obviously, you've only got 4 hearts, you haven't got 4 spades. So therefore, you bid what you want to. But if you haven't got spades, bid 2 no trumps. Does that make sense? So it's a very subtle thing. If you find it too complicated, bid 2 no trumps with this hand. Partner knows you've got 4 spades, but it just means that if he's not going for game, I mean, let me show you the hand. I'll show you the full hand. So on this hand here, your partner's got a weak hand. So if I bid 2 spades, it gives us the chance to play in 2 spades if he's not going to accept my invite. And of course, although he's 13, he's got no aces. He's aceless, so would just keep, if I bid 2 no trumps, North would have to bid 3 spades because he wants to play in spades. He knows that. Does that make sense? So instead of bidding 2 no trumps, I've rebid 2 spades. Partner knows what I've got because I can't have the weak hand, because if I had the weak hand, I would have just passed 2 hearts. Are you happy with that? Okay, otherwise I wouldn't have bid Stayman, would I? I'd have transferred to spades. So when I bid 2 spades, I'm saying, partner, I've got 11 points here. If you've got a maximum, go for game. Either 4 spades if you like spades, or 3 no trumps. If you haven't got a maximum, so if you don't want to go for game, either pass me in 2 spades or bid 2 no trumps. Okay? Does that make sense? And what it means is we've finished in 2 spades here. I think you may well make 3 spades here, because the clubs are sitting really kindly for you. So you're likely just to lose a club, 2 hearts and a spade. Okay. However, you can see that if the queen of clubs was in the east hand, you may well end up struggling in 3 spades, whereas 2 spades is much more reasonable. Actually, on this particular hand, well, no, because they're going to lead diamonds against no trumps, aren't they? So no trumps is going to be horrible, in fact, I think. So you definitely want to finish in spades. So those were a variety of hands that have come up, as I say, from the odd ones being sent in, but most of those were from my hands of the week. So they're in the distant past that I've had on Q+. And this particular one was nice. As I say, on this one, I think if you ended up bidding 2 no trumps, what's interesting is if you've got 11 points in a singleton, you wouldn't want to bid 2 spades here. You'd actually want to rebid 2 no trumps, because if partner then bid 3 spades, because of your singleton, you'd probably bid 4. That's another subtlety. So what I mean by that is if I had, let's say, the 10 of diamonds singleton there and the ace of clubs to 5, I would probably have rebid 2 no trumps. The lead here against 2 spades by South, I would have thought it would be the queen of diamonds. You might choose a trump lead, but I would have thought you'd lead the queen of diamonds. Top of 2 touching seems reasonable there, Nadine. And it doesn't do much good, but doesn't do any harm either by leading it. Declare we'll draw trumps and then play on clubs and hearts. As I say, because the clubs sit well, you should avoid going down in 3 spades anyway. Okay, so that was my little didgeridoo, as it were. I'm talking silly again. I've got to find my extra hand here, so bear with me. There we go. I've then got to change my configuration. I've been sitting in all sorts of places today. There we go. So we've done our Stayman. We're going to be moving on to Preempt timber. Let me have a look at the hand. Why is that doing that? Let me think. Oh, that's because I'm in the wrong place. Okay, this was the hand I gave you just before we did that Stayman-y bit. It went one spade from you, which I like. It goes 2 no trumps, 4 spades from partner, 5 diamonds. Now, South's 2 no trump bid was alerted to show both minors 5-5 at least. North is non-vulnerable and has bid 5 diamonds. Should we be bidding on? Well, I think Alan was the one asking, is this a forcing auction? Would pass be forcing? Well, I'm not sure it really matters here because I would not want to give my partner the choice. Remember, let's assume that 5 diamonds is a sacrifice, and I think it's not unreasonable to wear the opening hand. Yes, partner could be weak, but I would prefer us to take an action over 5 diamonds. Pass would suggest you don't mind partner bidding on. While here, with a completely flat hand, you have the worst type of hand for partner bidding on, including the Queen Jack 10 of clubs, which are useless playing in 4 spades, but might be helpful against, in defence. So for me here, with 2 aces in my hand, even if partner's weak, I would be hopeful of getting 5 diamonds down, and I would put a double down, which says, partner, even if you're weak, I'm not sure we should be bidding on, because I don't give us much chance of making it the 5 level, let alone necessarily at the 4 level. Bearing in mind my Queen Jack of 10s of clubs may not be of any use, we may well find ourselves losing too many tricks even at the 4 level. So for me, I'm going to take action. I'll show you the full hands. I would double there, and I'm sure that would end the auction. So let's look at it. And it's tight, isn't it? It turns out North's got a double fit. And you can see how useful the Queen of Clubs is, Queen Jack 10 of Clubs is in their contract. We're going to make a club trick, a heart trick, and 2 spades. It's a good sacrifice. It's only 300 if we can make our game. Can we make our game? I'm not sure we can. So this is what's interesting in this kind of auction. I quite like West's bid, a good aggressive 4 spade bid there from West. Those of you who count losers, I know it's aceless, but it's just 6 losers, so you add on for the acelessness. So it's 7, but that suggests bidding game, and I like it. Over 1 no trump, much more difficult to get it right, I think. If it went 1 no trump, 2 no trumps particularly. But here I like the 4 spade bid from West. I think 5 diamonds is perfectly reasonable from North. And we double to stop partner bidding on, and we get our 300. I don't think we can make game. I think we lose 2 diamonds, a club and a heart. Always very difficult here to judge, because if the suits break more evenly, so the clubs have broken 3-1, the diamonds 2-2. So therefore and the same for North and South. One of the suits is broken evenly, the other one unevenly. I suppose that's probably about with the odds. So of course they've lost 2 spades, a heart and a club. If they'd had a singleton spade, then obviously, so a singleton in both hands, it would have been much tighter, but we'd still make the 2 aces and the club. So getting these ones right makes a huge difference. Whether it's playing pairs or teams, makes a huge difference here. Getting these ones right. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that. We are finished with Stayman, whether it's garbage or not, or puppet, or 5 card or 4 card. We are moving on to Preempt timber. And we're going to have some fun with that. I love preempting, but I also like to fight against them, if that makes sense. Remember, on the Fridays we are negative doubling. We are making our way through that topic. Funnily enough, we will also then be encountering preempts, but more preemptive overcalls, because it's one thing having a negative double 1 heart 1 spade double, but it's another thing when the bidding goes 1 heart 3 spades double. Okay, similar meanings, but judging what partner has becomes so difficult. So that is our Friday challenge, and that will take us through September and possibly, I'm sure, into October as well. So I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget, now that the rain and autumn is on its way, it is time to book a cruise or a holiday abroad or something like that. Or just come and have a bridge weekend with the rain outside and the bridge inside. How's that? Okay, so I hope you enjoyed yourself, and see you again soon.